everyone, this is Coach Wolverine and Coach Kelowna with the Conversation Over Drinks, and we are at Vibe Mediation this early morning to do what was our first group meditation. And we're fortunate enough to have the owner here to be able to sit down and have some conversation with us about meditation and the benefits, and Alex, if she's interested, to also give us some feedback on it.
For us, the whole theme of everything we do is the discomfort of the positions we put ourselves in. Meditation might seem uncomfortable to a lot of people. It's the first group class that I've ever done. And for someone who's trying to constantly have your eyes open and always be aware of what's going on, to close your eyes and just kind of chill out for the 30 minutes would be considered uncomfortable. So if you're wondering where our discomfort was today, it happened about 7:15 this morning.
Yeah, for myself, I actually do meditation on a very regular basis, daily, if not twice a day. However, to have your eyes closed in a room full of other people is a little bit of a different experience, especially when you're being self-aware of one's breathing and hearing everyone else's breathing and whatnot. So I can say that, yeah, first time group meditation was great, but it was definitely different. Also having an appointment to be held accountable for meditation as opposed to just trying to squeeze it in wherever you can or right first thing in the morning when you roll out of bed. So that's the main comments I have right now on that.
Yeah, we can talk about kind of how it relates to a lot of what we do in regards to breathing and performance and mental clarity and confidence and all that a little bit more. But if Nathan or Alex want to jump in here and talk about more the formal side of meditation, that's totally up to them.
I started meditating because I had experienced a lot of trauma just in life, and I was very frantic and scattered internally. I just had a lot of undealt with, unprocessed emotions, and I needed stillness. I just needed stillness so desperately. And I started meditating regularly a few years ago, and it was actually a really big struggle at first. I experienced lots of panic attacks, lots of, inability to sit because I had so much that needed to come up and out and be processed. But the more I did it, of course, the calmer I became. Being mindful is one of the most well-documented ways to start processing trauma and anxiety. This has been very well studied. All experts in trauma will say that mindfulness is the first and most important step to be able to observe yourself and connect to your body, which is what we were doing in that class today. We were observing each of our 5 senses, as well as becoming aware of the space that we were taking up and the space around us. Our proprioceptors are located in a deep part of our brain. So that is where our subconscious lies. And when we're focusing on our physical body, the space that it's taking up, the space around our bodies, we're also engaging our subconscious mind. We're lowering our awareness into our subconscious mind instead of keeping our awareness on our frivolous, thoughts that just are running through our brain that aren't benefiting us most of the time, aren't even true. Meditation, I think, often has a misconception that it's about coming and sitting and silencing the mind. And when people first start meditating and they are racing, they think, oh, I'm not doing a good job, or I'm a bad meditator. But the point isn't to have a quiet mind. That comes with daily practice and sometimes even years of meditating daily. Like you said, once, twice a day. I still have times when my mind is racing, but that's not necessarily a bad meditation. It's that you have things going on internally that you need to process, that you're not dealing with, that are living deep inside of you that you need to be aware of. And that's what mindfulness does. It allows us to become aware of what we're thinking so we can observe it. Are the thoughts I'm thinking even true? Are they beneficial to me? Are they stemming from a story that I believe subconsciously deep down? Is that story even true? So many of our insecurities are shaped from deep held beliefs that we have that we might not even be aware of if we don't take that time to just sit and be quiet with ourselves. You know, if you have that feeling of, I'm not worthy, that paints every interaction that you have. And then, you know, if somebody slights you, hurts your feelings, breaks up with you, whatever, you tell all these stories to yourself about how unworthy you are, how undeserving you are. And that lives inside of you, and that creates all of these deep, visceral sensations in your body, because those types of beliefs hurt. And it's not just in your mind. Those sensations go into your body, and oftentimes when people are acting in ways that they don't want to act, when they're being very reactive, you know, you fly off the handle, you say stuff you don't mean, you text an ex that you don't want to actually be texting just to like make that sensation in your body of loneliness or unworthiness or anger just stop. When you meditate, you can observe those sensations for what they are: chemical reactions in your body to a thought that you're having. And you can sit with them, you can pause, you can experience them and recognize that you can feel those really uncomfortable, visceral sensations and still be safe. You don't actually need to react to those sensations. You can just observe them and just be aware of them. And that carries forward into your real life. Meditation isn't just, you know, sitting on the mat. The benefits are what happens off the mat after you're done meditating. When the next time in your day-to-day life you experience one of those visceral sensations, you have the skills, you know, deep in your spirit, that you have the ability to just pause and observe that sensation and not respond. And that's when you really notice the benefits of meditation. That's how your life starts changing because of meditation.
Are you familiar with who Joe Dispenza is?
Yes.
So I overheard you after the class, because I've actually just been reading two of his books, The Year, The Placebo, and Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And it's, some of the stuff you were saying was very much resonating with that sort of stuff. So what is your thought process on the subconscious mind actually not being solely in the mind, but in the body itself?
Oh, I agree with that completely. I think as you sit in meditation and you explore those things, you become very aware of how your thoughts live in your body, what you think and experience, you feel in your body. And yeah, being able to be aware of that and in control of it. We can control with our breath how our body responds. We can be aware of those different physical sensations that we're having, and we can change them.
So what was your aha moments where you're like, I have to do something different, that kind of opened your eyes up to meditation being that outlet?
I was working a job I hated full time. I have 2 little girls. My life was it was chaotic. I hated my job. I never got to see my kids. And then I just started going back to school full time for massage, because I knew I wanted to be doing something to help people. But when we were sitting in class, our first day of massage school, we did a guided meditation, one of those like energy ball meditations. And in the middle of class, in front of a bunch of strangers, I just had like a panic attack quietly, but like I realized how much was just sitting there. And I had, you know, a piece of marriage, just lots that I had not ever had the safety and safe space to deal with. And I realized, like, when I was sitting there, like, I do have all of this, and I need to deal with it. And just sitting in that stillness, even though I was experiencing like those terrible visceral sensations, I was so called to it. I tried a bunch of times before to meditate, but I just knew that was something that would make me feel better, and it has. My life has changed completely. We think about 70,000 thoughts a day. 90% of them are the same thoughts we thought yesterday. And most of those thoughts just come from our pre-programmed subconscious.
It's like driving to work, getting to work, and not even remembering the trip there because it's
So
habitual.
automatic. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's what we're doing with our thoughts, and meditation really gives us that chance to observe what's going on inside instead of just reacting to it, and become aware that like anything that you can observe, you are not. You know you're not that teapot because you can see that teapot isn't you. The same way you can observe your thoughts, so that can't be you. You can observe your mind, that can't be you. You are the observer.
Some of the stuff you said too, like when I talk to athletes or people that are looking for better performance, especially about meditation, like it's not about what you feel in there, it's how the rest of your day goes, right? It's like you're in here to increase the quality of the rest of your day. And that's the same thing we talked about in the gym. You go to the gym for an hour, or you should go to the gym for like an hour to increase the quality of the rest of your day, not adjust your 23 hours to go to the gym.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Because it's all about like living your life and feeling all that. And then for me, there's just so many things. It's like, okay, like if I have an athlete that's struggling with confidence, or an athlete that's struggling with like changing roles on a team because they've gone somewhere else where they're no longer the star player and all that, like meditation and how that, because we talked about reflecting, but to the core of the issue is more meditatively required.
One of my formulation of beliefs is, for us to become who we needed when we were younger, regardless of the younger age, and be that for somebody else. Would you say that is what you've become?
Or that I'm becoming. Absolutely. I think that our whole purpose in life is to grow spiritually and to help others grow spiritually. I think that that's how we will change all of the problems in the world. It's not going to be one person. That comes from a society of people who are self-aware, full of compassion, full of love, and you can't be those things for others unless you have them for yourself.
Which ultimately is kind of like what we do as well, right? To be coaches is like taking your experiences, molding them, and finding a way to reach more people.
Yeah.
Because who taught me what I know wouldn't be able to communicate that with the people that I can communicate with through my experiences, because everyone has that chain. That's why everyone has the ability to help one another.
Absolutely.
But we get caught up in this, like, I need to be better than everyone else stuff.
Status quo.
And we've talked about the materialistic and all that stuff that comes with these comparisons that are just not healthy. But when you realize that sharing your experiences, sharing like benefits and everything is what's actually most beneficial for both parties. Like you're helping and you're helping yourself by being helpful.
And it's actually something that I work with a lot of my clients actually, is that to really grasp the reality that just because something that you believe in is your truth does not mean it's the absolute truth. And it seems to be a mind twist for a lot of people to realize that, yeah, you believe this to be true. That doesn't mean that person believes it to be true. Just like you think, this fashion looks good and this person doesn't think it looks good. It doesn't mean anyone is right or wrong. It just means that they're holding on to the version of their truth. So
everyone's in their own world. And like I know when I was a kid, it's not just like the world doesn't revolve around you. When in reality, the world revolves around all of us individually. Right? My world revolves around me. Yours revolves around you, and you. But being able to realize that if we provide benefits to the world around us, to our world, it's providing benefit to everyone else's world. As always, guys, thank you for taking the time with us. But if you want to like the videos, subscribe on YouTube, everything, comment about anything you heard today, start a discussion, anything. Like we've always said, we want people to challenge what we're doing as much as we want people to give us a high five. So that's it from me. I want to say, if you haven't tried a meditation, this is a place to do it if you're in Red Deer. Otherwise, find a studio near you and hit up a little session for yourself.
absolutely, guys. Ask those questions, right? Those questions help feed the channel. They help feed the content, and we'll be able to get more information out there. There's no such thing as a dumb question, so don't ever have to worry about that. There's very, very little that we're not opposed to exploring in the self-development world anyways. So thank you guys for joining us. Hope you guys take care. Cheers.